collective breath together. We made it. We made it. So, friends and family, welcome to this day of celebration. Today is indeed a celebration of love, commitment, friendship, family, and of these two people who are in it for forever. Before we begin, I would like to take a minute on behalf of myself, Oliver, MJ, and their families to acknowledge and thank everyone for making the trip all the way here to beautiful Château La Carasse in the south of France. MJ and Oliver would also like to take a minute to acknowledge those who could not be here with us physically today, but who are absolutely with us in spirit. I could not think of a more fitting venue for this monumental occasion. And we are all so very lucky to be part of this day in this stunning location. It really is, and it really all hit me last night for sure. It is truly humbling, the show of love and support being received by friends and family today, as well as over the last several months as we prepared to be here today. We have gathered here today to share with MJ and Oliver a very important moment in their lives. Together, we will share in the joys of their wedding, both with the outward celebration of this occasion and with the internal appreciation for all of the love that surrounds us. And you know, really, despite all of our differences, love truly is what we all share. Love is the ultimate unifier and the universal truth. I know that no matter who you are, where you've come from, what you believe, love is the one thing that we are all doing right. And that is why MJ and Oliver are both standing here today in this moment. That is why we are all here with you, to stand by you as you enter into this new chapter of your lives. We're here to hope with you, to support you, to be so proud of you, and to remind you that love is not necessarily a happily ever after, but rather a journey, an adventure, and it's one that you get to create for yourselves. Your journey should be made up of moments, not just this moment or the moments leading to this moment. It's every moment. It's holding hands as you walk to dinner. It's moving in together, laughing with and at each other, dancing, crying, hugging, and loving together. These are the incredible moments that make up your incredible story. I do believe I have had the good fortune of meeting everybody who's here today at some point or another, but for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm MJ's sister, Mallory. His younger sister. But I really am. I feel privileged to be here today among all of you as we witness Oliver and MJ's commitment to a lifetime of love to one another. I will also apologize in advance. First and foremost, I'm extremely emotional, so bear with me if I break down a little bit here and there, but also because I have known my brother for a better part of 30 years as Josh. Most of you know him as MJ, and I understand that's a little confusing, so if I go in and out of MJ and Josh, it's the same person. Just know that it's the same guy.
Oliver's not marrying two guys.
My brother and I do have a very close relationship, but it is a relationship that we have struggled with for a very long time. There is a 4-year age difference between the two of us, and that made preteen through adulthood relationship kind of difficult. It really seemed like we were always in different stages of our lives, mentally, emotionally, physically, and truthfully, we were in so many ways. But for me, and in my extreme naivete, the one thing that always remained the same for me was that I always wanted a sister. And I couldn't wait until the day that my brother got married, and I would finally finally get my sister. I can remember incredibly vividly the first time that I met Oliver, but I will tell you truthfully and more importantly that I loved Oliver before I'd ever even met him in person. For a number of months before our first introduction, I had seen a huge difference in my brother's attitude and his behavior. He seemed kinder and softer, and he was lighter and happier, like this immense burden had just been lifted. And he honestly, hadn't told us much about Oliver up until that point. What he was like, what he did for a living, where he came from, what color his hair was, not even how loud that very distinct Oliver laugh was. So we were in St. Martin. It was 4 years ago. It was at Thanksgiving. And we were at the airport. We were waiting for Oliver to meet us. And it was just a couple of us. And I'd never seen my brother so anxious, but also so happy. And the doors opened. It was like this grand moment. And Oliver walks through, and all of a sudden, these two just met eyes. And they just seemed to gravitate towards one another. And in that moment, nobody else was in the room. And the way that they looked at each other with such love and such care it was just so very special. I looked at my husband, Paul, and in that moment, we knew that was it for Josh. There was no going back. And Oliver was, without a doubt, going to become a very important part of our family. Anyway, as I got older and wiser, I got a little more life experience, and I realized that my brother's happiness and his marriage had nothing to do with me. Nothing. What I thought, what I wanted, it wasn't realistic. And I knew in that moment, well, I'd known for a long time, but it was solidified in that moment. I knew I was never going to get my sister, and that was okay. What was most important was our family, our love, and the new relationship being introduced that has truly made our family whole. Oliver was meant to be part of our family. Also, I was in a sorority in college. I had a lot of sisters that made it very clear sisters are not necessarily all they're cracked up to be. So marriage is really when two become one, or so they say. And that goes for the couple's families as well. I like to think that I'm always right, but in this case I wanted to be sure. So I did a little poking around, and it turns out that my feelings were not wrong. Mike and Jan, MJ's parents, were in full agreement. They said that the generosity, dedication, and love that these two show their families is beyond question. Their support and compassion for individuals and groups who struggle with acceptance is a commitment and bond that they share deeply. Mike and Jan first met Oliver on the Brooklyn Bridge many years ago. At the time, their feelings were mixed. And I think that's normal for any parent meeting the love interest of their child for the first time. Their reaction, verbatim, "This guy is energy in human form." He was talking so fast, constantly waving his arms and his hands, laughing with that very distinct Oliver laugh, and he did not walk. Rather, he danced. He danced all the way across the Brooklyn Bridge. Oliver has really helped to relax and temper Josh, and he has been a calming influence, which is a positive thing. My parents know that it's not easy to become part of someone else's family, but Oliver has truly made it appear that way. They also said that it's generally appropriate to welcome your child's new spouse into your family at their wedding, but they're not going to do that here today, because Oliver is already a part of our family. So thank you Mike and Jan, Mom and Dad. I think something that makes this couple so special, granted I've already said it about 100 times, is that they're both so very family-centric, and I have felt for a very long time that I already knew Oliver's family before I met them for the first time here in France. Oliver speaks so highly and with such regard for his parents and his siblings, but again, I wanted to be sure for myself, so I also reached out to Oliver's family to get their take on this relationship. Tom and Roberta, Oliver's father and stepmother, first met MJ when he joined them in Pennsylvania for a weekend under some distressing circumstances. And they said that Josh became a part of their family on day one. He became an asset to their family immediately. They noticed right away the support that MJ gave to Oliver in his career, as well as in making important life decisions. They believe that such support and commitment is what will continue to be a great comfort and factor in their long-term goals as individuals as well as a couple. They also said that Oliver and MJ had this amazing ability to take their two separate groups of friends and meld them seamlessly into each other's lives, as well as in their social networks, which has really been a win-win for everybody. MJ, he joined the Tobin crew for a family vacation in Hawaii in 2017. We're good. While they were there, MJ took Tom aside and he asked for Oliver's hand in marriage. He told Tom that he loved Oliver so much. And Tom was thrilled.
Tom's right.
Tom was thrilled, but he also really dreaded the idea of having to keep that secret all to himself. Since their relationship began, Tom and Roberta have noticed that Oliver is much happier and he's much more fulfilled with life in general. They said that their entire family, and I just want to repeat that, their entire family, which is quite a few people, believe that MJ has significantly enriched Oliver's life. Thank you, Tom and Roberta. I also had the privilege of speaking with Bobby, who said that, Oliver's mother, who said that one of the first things that Bobby noticed about Josh was his immense want to help and take care of Oliver and his family. Her favorite memory of Josh and Oliver was at an airport. Josh was helping pull luggage out of the back of the car, and completely unprovoked, Josh just stopped, and he looked up at Bobby and he said, "I love your son so deeply." And all Bobby said back was, "I know." And this is kind of fun. So, one of Bobby's favorite things to do with Josh is anytime she goes to a restaurant, she'd like to take Josh with her. Because he always introduces her to new foods and new cuisines that always end up being her new favorite. She is very thankful for Josh and his desire to help and support the entire Tobin family. Thank you, Bobby. It's not always the case that you get lucky with having amazing, giving, loving, and respectful in-laws in your family, but I know that both MJ and Oliver have struck gold with the Newmans and the Tobins respectfully. So as we continue forward with this theme of family and love, the grooms would like to invite Oliver's brothers, Donovan and Simon, up to do a couple of very significant readings.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm one of Oliver's younger brothers, Donovan. 50 years ago, on Saturday, June 28th, 1969, the police raided a gay bar in the heart of Greenwich Village, New York City. The patrons of Stonewall Inn were fed up and fought back, sparking a riot that would change the course of history, redefining the notion of the word pride throughout the community and the world. A movement was born. What is pride? The dictionary defines pride as confidence and self-respect expressed by members of a group, typically one that has been socially marginalized on the basis of their shared identity, culture, and experience. Pride in the LGBTQ community is one of the pillars of survival. It is represented in the colors of the flag and in the fight for acceptance and respect every day. Because of the Stonewall riots 50 years ago, we have this day we are all sharing together as family, full of pride. Tomorrow, millions of people from around the world will take over the streets of Manhattan again as it marches for world pride and celebrates how far we have all come and how far we have yet to go. For those who started it all and fought at Stonewall, and for those who have fought everywhere else since, for this community to be seen and accepted as equals on this earth, my brothers have asked for a moment of silence in gratitude and respect for everyone's bravery and humanity.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Oliver's youngest brother, Simon. June 26, 2015, 16,799 days following the Stonewall riots, the Supreme Court of the United States of America ruled to legalize gay marriage, affording over 123,000 couples since that time the right to live their lives together as a union. Today, we add these two to that list. Justice Anthony Kennedy, who authored the ruling legalizing same-sex marriage throughout the United States, closed his opinion with one of the most beautiful passages you'll likely read in a court case. He wrote, "No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than they once were. As some of the petitioners in these cases demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that may endure even past death. It would misunderstand these men and women to say they disrespect the idea of marriage. Their plea is that they do respect it so deeply that they seek to find its fulfillment for themselves. Their hope is not to be condemned to live in loneliness, excluded from one of civilization's oldest institutions. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them that right. The judgment of the Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit is reversed. It is so ordered."
Donovan and Simon, thank you very much. That was lovely and so important for this occasion as we celebrate love and the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, whose participants and advocates fought to shape the cultural awareness that really has helped lead us here today. Oliver, MJ, you are now both choosing each other, this day and every day moving forward. In doing this, you are choosing to improve each other, to challenge each other, to make each other smile, and to do all that you can to make each day better for one another. You're making a promise that you intend to keep, a promise that says, every experience I have, good or bad, I want you to be a part of. And the premise of this promise is really quite simple. You're just vowing to be there. Before MJ and Oliver read the vows that they've written to one another, I would like to share a specific specific passage from our own parents' wedding ceremony, a wedding ceremony that was held more than 40 years ago for two people who are very much in love and very happy. This might get a little touch and go. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea through the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together, and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of a temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadows. This passage is so important because it speaks to the magnitude of love and what marriage means, but also the importance of independence. And I want to be clear that independence does not mean distant. Independence is one of the most important traits of a healthy and lifelong partnership. It belongs ranked in line with communication and trust and honesty and loyalty, which is something that these two have really mastered. Being true to themselves, feeling comfortable as their own unique selves, but also as a complete one. So now, MJ, Oliver, I would like to invite you to publicly speak your commitment to one another. Everyone, please have your tissues ready. MJ, would you like to begin? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if these have melted in my pocket. Oliver, I never dreamed of a wedding as a child. I never had a vision for it. I never saw myself being in this situation. This was not something that I could take part in. This was not something I ever thought for myself. I was different. I was on the outside. When I grew up, I started to figure out who I was and who I loved and what I wanted in my life. And I shunned everything that was heterosexual, heteronormative, and this union represented a lot of that. I never wanted to be straight. I never wanted to be anything that I wasn't, and I didn't understand why I would ever want something that represented something that I didn't want to be. Also, this world can be a hateful place, and there are so many out there that vehemently did not want me to take part in this union. And so I just pushed it out of my mind. I've traveled the world. I have met a lot of different people. I have lived in a lot of different places. I have experienced traditions. I have experienced different cultures. And my opinion on marriage had never changed until I met you. I realized at that point that marriage is not a social construct. Marriage is a bond between two people, and we make it what it is. And you are the first person that I've ever wanted to stand up in front of an entire group of people and say, I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and I want to build this bond. And that's where I want to start my vows. I want us to continue to have that. Through you, I have learned that I don't know the answers to all the questions in my life. You have changed my perspective on the world and how I interact with my emotions and the people around me. I want us to continue to learn and to share and to grow as people. So my vows to you, you are the best man that I have ever met, and I vow to be the best man for you in your life, and to continue to become a better man for you and for us. I promise to listen and be less stubborn, although I don't think I'm actually that stubborn. I promise to challenge you and to help you think differently and see from different perspectives. I promise to push you for your dreams, and I will be there for the triumphs and I will be there for the tragedies, but I will be there every day. I promise to make you laugh, even with my dad jokes. love them. I promise to hold you when you cry. And I promise to say I love you before we go to bed every night. I promise that I will let you explode in anger, and I will sit with you and hold your hand and say, yes, this sucks. Yes, this sucks. But then we'll change the tune and we will try to fix it together. We will find a solution. You are my partner and we are a team, and we are going to be together. I promise to make you take vacations and take care of yourself. And I promise for us to continue to explore the world together and see through new things and experience new things together. And I promise to show up for you and always be there for you. Always. I love you, Oliver Topin. You are an amazing man, and I am so proud and so lucky to be standing across from you today. I cannot wait to spend the rest of our lives together. You teach me, you push me, you challenge me, you protect me every day. And every time that I think I have you figured out, you delight, stun, and amaze me and surprise me. I love you so very, very much. And my last vow is from today on, you're never going to dance alone.
You're getting it. Down, Tiger. Take a deep breath, Alan.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Joshua Newman. I would like to start by acknowledging the gratitude that I have for this moment that I've been given, which is a result of your patience, love, and acceptance of the person I have been, the person I am right now, and the person I am ultimately trying to become. You've seen me in this life during some of my highest points and witnessed me at some of my lowest moments. But you weren't just watching, you actually carried me through them. And your support is one of the reasons why I'm standing here, and I'm so grateful for you. My life has been a twister board of a story, and you have been a grounding presence since the first day I met you. And because you are able to ground me, you have challenged me like no other. Grounding me has got to be tougher than twister. You do that, you ground me. And in that ground, there is a feeling of protection and safety at a level that I've never experienced with another man before in my life. I never claimed to be easy, and sometimes I feel a little mad. Well, don't you know that no one alive can always be an angel? And when things go wrong, I seem to be bad. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. So, oh Lord, please don't let me be this person. Yeah, you all thought mine to be Madonna lyric in this, but you know why it's Nina, actually. So for all of this life, beauty, and adventure, and for you, I'm so grateful, and I love you. You and I have literally held each other's hands through life's own interesting way of testing our resilience, death, birth, sickness, health, bumps, bruises. We've been there, we've done that, and we will do it again, together. We've stood together facing this world together. We have formed a circle of love. My vow, my first vow, is to try my absolute hardest to make you feel like you've come home every time you and I meet each other. Whether that be on the street, our apartment, the dance floor later tonight, or when I nag you with endless phone calls throughout the day, I promise to make you feel like you've come home. My second is to try and always provide you with an atmosphere and the capacity to grow, and to meet you in that growth with questions, understanding, and support. I promise to provide you the room for your spirit to shine. My vow today is to stand here humbled before you, your parents, your sister, our friends, my family, and recognize my intentions to be good, and to remain humble, and to recognize my promise to try through it all. I promise today to try and not make you feel that you have or are marrying the right partner. My vow is to be the right partner. For you, I'm Joshua Newman. I'm so grateful, and I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Friends and family, Oliver and MJ have demonstrated in our presence today their belief in their love and their desire to live together in marriage. Before they speak their intent to one another, if you also believe in their love and you wish to add your blessing to their marriage today, I would like to invite you to do so. We, their friends and family, occupy a very important space in this couple's lives. It is in our company that they have learned the lessons of friendship, the tremendous act of giving one's love to another, and I'd like to ask for your blessing as well. So, do you, who are the friends and family of this couple, affirm your continuing support of and love for Oliver and MJ as they stand here today on the threshold of their new life together? If so, please say we do.
We do.
So, Oliver, MJ, would you please hold hands? MJ, do you take Oliver to live together in the union of marriage, to take him as your best friend and your partner in life, to honor, cherish, and love him from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, for all of your days? Oliver, do you take MJ to live together in the union of marriage, to take him as your best friend and partner in life, to honor, cherish, and love him from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, for all of your days? Good. The wedding ring's circular shape reflects the unending power of love, a force with no beginning and no end. It is infinite, eternal, just the way love should be. You should wear your rings proudly and let them remind you each day of your commitment to one another. Michelle, if you would bring the rings up, please. So Michelle is not only one of Oliver's best and oldest friends, she is also an incredibly talented and creative jewelry designer, and she created both of their rings. MJ, as you place this ring on Ollie's finger, please, do you already do it? Please repeat after me. I, MJ,
I, MJ,
give you, Oliver, this ring
give you, Oliver, this ring
as a symbol of my love and faithfulness.
as a symbol of my love and faithfulness.
As I place it on your finger,
As I place it on your finger,
I commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
I commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
This ring is a token of my love.
This ring is a token of my love.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I marry you with this ring,
I marry you with this ring,
with all that I have,
with all that I have,
all that I am,
all that I am,
accepting all that you are.
accepting all that you are.
Oliver, as you place the ring on Josh's finger, please repeat after me. I, Oliver,
Oliver,
give you, MJ, this ring
give you, MJ, this ring
as a symbol of my love and faithfulness.
symbol of my love and faithfulness.
As I place it on your finger,
I place it on your finger,
I commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
commit the whole of my heart and soul to you.
This ring is a token of my love.
This ring is a token of my love.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I promise to cherish you for the rest of my days.
I marry you with this ring,
I marry you with this ring,
with all that I have,
all that I have,
all that I am,
all that I am,
accepting all that you are.
accepting all that you are.
Marriage is truly a gift, a promise and a new beginning. This is simply day one, page one, in the next chapter of your lives together. It is genuinely amazing the power of love, and I encourage you to remain unapologetically consumed by that power. Success in marriage is more than finding the right person. It is also being the right person. I am beyond proud to be here celebrating the marriage of these two remarkable people who are not only amazing in their own rights, but are also the right people for each other. Chance has brought them together, and there couldn't be a more perfect match. We don't often see a pair better suited to one another. Separately, you two are extraordinary people, but together, you are complete. As you stand side by side through this roller coaster of life, remember to scream at the peaks, hold hands through the dips, laugh through the loops, and enjoy every twist and turn. The ride is so much better when you share it together. One of the most remarkable moments in life is when you find the person that makes you complete. Coming together is just the beginning. Keeping together is the progress. Working together is the success. So, with that, and by the power vested in me, I am pleased to pronounce MJ and Oliver as husband and husband, bound together on this day in both